see what's going to happen at the border? AI. Now, yeah, I could see how it would probably help, but the more that we turn to AI and face recognition, I'm not sure it's a good thing. It says right here, states agreed Wednesday on a phased rollout of new border check system. I validated it's true. I could see how under the power of the wrong ruler, this could be easily manipulated. Important information that affects you coming right up. My name is Cohen here at Riverside Homestead, and if you're brand new here, welcome. If you guys are into prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and most of all, news and awareness, stuff that you want to know about, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. Welcome back. Thanks for hitting that thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Now, I got sent this, and the reason that this is kind of a big deal is because when it happens in one place, it tends to follow suit. Kind of like everything that we've experienced in California. Things kind of start in California, and then we end up seeing everything else everywhere else. Smart cities, bans on different things. Now, another thing rings true for the United States, especially. When things start happening over in the EU, it's a matter of time before usually we see it happen here. And this is a big deal, allowing a border to run off of AI. So let's quickly go over this information so you guys are up to date. On this article and from Insider Paper, EU states agree to roll out automated border system. Now, you notice in the title they didn't mention AI because probably it's going to scare quite a few people. So March 5th, 2025 says EU member states agreed Wednesday on a phased rollout of new border check system for non-EU nationals, which will do away with passport stamps. This is what I'm talking about. Whole new system. Before you know it, everywhere we go, probably even the grocery stores, you're gonna get your face scanned, your eyes scanned. It says the so-called entry-exit system, the EES, was initially supposed to kick in last November, but was delayed at the last minute as several states were not ready. So now I validated, I went and found that European Parliament, Artificial Intelligence at EU Borders. Overview of applications and key issues. And you look at it, and that's basically what this thing's gonna turn into. No more people checking people. When you think about our southern border, now nothing gets worse than the wrong administration being in place and letting tens of millions in. But we all know anything electronic can be manipulated. It says first agreed in 2017, the automated system will record visitors' date of entry and exit and keep track of overstays and refused entries. But the introduction has raised fears and queries and longer waiting times for people traveling to Europe on trains, ferries, and planes. To me, I feel like this is just one more step on some major control and some major violation. It says London's Mayor Sadiq Khan warned last year it could trigger chaos at the British capital's Eurostar cross-channel rail hub, St. Francis Station. Are you guys for things developing that fast to where facial recognition, eye scans, and then being able to pull up probably anything on you, everything that you're about? Do you feel like that's a violation or no? Do you feel like if you wanted to go across and just flash your passport, which you paid for and went through the process of that they don't need all of that crazy information that's probably being stockpiled on you in an AI system? Let me know, because I think before long it's going to control a lot of things, not just the border, not other things. I'm talking about getting into a grocery store, getting from point A to point B, like what it says here. The UK, which left the EU in 2020, on Wednesday opened up an application for its own digital travel permit, another permit you have to pay for, which will be mandatory for European visitors from April. I don't know about you, but from where our homestead is, I'm getting tired of permits. You need a permit for this, permit for that, permit to get in here, permit to get into the public lands over here, license to do this, license to do that, when everything already does come from taxpayers and it's public. It just drives me up a wall. It continues to say, under the EU agreement reached Wednesday, subject to approval by the European Parliament, the scheme will be implemented over a 6-month period. They say, we are aiming for October to begin the rollout, said Polish Interior Administrator Tomasz Simoniak, whose country holds the rotating EU presidency. I'm telling you, it starts here, and then the next thing we know, it's in our backyard. Member states would ramp up towards operating the EES system at half border crossing points after 3 months and by 6 months, countries should be registering all individuals using the system. And they're gonna stock up your info too. Under the EES, travelers to the bloc will have details on biometric data, facial images, and fingerprints collected at ports of entry. They're gonna know every place that you've been. It's gonna be a big old tracking device. I'm telling you, this whole thing, I don't know how many years and we're gonna be in a sci-fi movie. It says right here, biometricupdate.com says EU projects explains how to create ethical AI at the border. In this article further down, after it tells you kind of where it's gonna start, it says another risk that we have identified is the increased stress and anxiety among travelers due to constant surveillance and the use of advanced monitoring systems such as drones, fingerprints, scans, and other biometric checks at the border crossing, says Katoi. Are you guys comfortable with being surveillanced that much? I mean, I'm telling you, there's gonna be a day where some areas are gonna be patrolled by drones. Maybe it's already happening over there. They mentioned it. It's not in the US as far as I know, but I think it's gonna be coming down the pipe. Look, it's already happening. There is over 1 billion surveillance cameras already spying on everyone. Right here from the NPR, it says, when it comes to the dangers of AI, surveillance poses more risk than anything. According to an estimate, Ari Shapiro says at least 1 billion surveillance cameras are spying on the world right now, according to one estimate, and more than half of them are in China. I'm telling you, China's got this whole control thing figured out, and that's the last thing we want to be is China. Though the country has less than 1/5 of the world's population to sort through the data from those hundreds of millions of cameras, the Chinese government is enlisting the help of artificial intelligence. So when you think people are in control of things, it gets that big, they need the help from AI. And before you know it, AI is running the program. It says that technology that can identify faces, voices, even the way someone walks. What? Paul Scher investigated the country's surveillance system for his new book, 4 Battlegrounds, Power in the Age of Artificial Intelligence. Might be a good one to read. He writes that AI has the power to reshape the entire landscape of human governance and warfare, from enabling the spread of authoritarianism and influencing how wars start and end. Paul Scher, welcome back to All Things Considered. In this interview, he was asked, when you spent time in China looking at the country's use of AI, what surprised you? And Scher said, so many things. One of them, is one thing to hear about 500 million surveillance cameras deployed in China, but it's an entirely different thing to walk down the street of a major Chinese city and see these cameras everywhere. Folks, we have no idea how many cameras are stacked on the streets of China. He says cameras everywhere, at light poles, at intersections, halfway down the block, sometimes to the point of absurdity. I would sit and count how many cameras there were on a given light pole. Probably looked like a Christmas tree. And so the surveillance is very ubiquitous. And he said it's not that they're trying to be hidden, because of course the Chinese Communist Party wants to subtly remind people that, in fact, they are being watched. I don't like it, and I think it's headed down our path in the future. Hopefully not in the next 4 years, if you know what I mean. Scher said, yeah, and one of the things that the AI enables the government to do is to put electronic eyeballs behind all of these cameras, because how do you monitor 5 million cameras? Well, you need AI to do it. China's rolling this stuff out, and this is the norm in like Zimbabwe, Venezuela. Look, the read was a good read on that little interview, but the takeaway here is you start with one thing and it opens the door for the next. You open up the door and get a lot of these world leaders to be like, cool, yeah, we'll do it. Like in the EU, things start there, and we slowly see those changes head our way as well. And a lot of times it has to do with money. And if there's money to be made and money to be saved, as you guys know, to operate AI, you just can't duplicate that with in-person labor. So kind of a big deal that they did get the approval, and this is gonna get rolled out. Let me know what you guys think. Got a lot more interesting things coming down the pipe. If you didn't see this video, also very interesting. Make sure the notification bell is still clicked on if you like staying up to date on news and awareness that affects you. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.